All right, first, I just want to talk about a little concept development that we're going to use for finding the x and y intercepts of these two functions, linear functions. But first, and these dots have nothing to do with this linear equation, but this is just concept development. I'll erase it in just a minute. If I look at the coordinates of these points that are on the x-axis, this point is at -4, 0. This point is at -1, 0. And this point is at 2, 0. I notice what they have in common is all the points on my x-axis, or that would be my x-intercept, all have y values of 0. So to find my x-intercept, I'm going to set y equal to 0 and solve for x. That's going to give me the value for x when y is equal to 0. Similarly, when I'm looking at all of my points on the y-axis, for instance, this point is at 0, 3. For instance, this point is at 0, 2. And for instance, this point is at 0, -4. I see that all of the x values for every point that's on my y-axis is 0. And again, that's how I'm going to find my y-intercept. I'm going to set x equal to 0 and solve. Notice I ask you to state the x and y-intercepts as ordered pairs. Then we're going to sketch a graph of the line. So that was just a little concept development. Why I substitute in y equals 0 and then solve for x to find the x-intercept, and why I substitute in x equals 0 and solve for y to find the y-intercept. So let's find the x-intercept of this, and I know that y is going to be substituted in, or 0 is going to be substituted in for y. So to find my x-intercept, I see that I'm going to have x minus 2, and instead of y, it's going to be times 0 equals -2. I know that -2 times 0 is 0, so notice I'm left with x equals -2. I ask you to write the x and y intercepts as ordered pairs. I know that that ordered pair is going to be -2, 0, so that's going to be my x-intercept, and I'm going to plot that right now. Next, I'm going to find my y-intercept. My y-intercept is where x equals 0, so I'm going to substitute x equals 0 and solve. So I see 0 minus 2y equals -2. I see -2y equals -2. Don't forget that negative sign in front of the 2. Students forget that quite often. I'm going to divide both sides by -2. I get y equals 1. I know that my ordered pair is going to be 0, 1. I'm going to plot that point. And then, now I've stated the x and y intercepts as ordered pairs, then I get to sketch the graph. I've got my x and y intercepts. I'm just going to continue on. Notice I go up 1 over 2, up 1 over 2. I can tell right away that the slope is 1/2. Not being asked for here, but if I wanted to, I could. And similarly, I'm going to do the same thing over here. I know to find an x-intercept, I need to substitute y equals 0. I'm going to do that right now. Y is going to be 0, so I get 2x minus 0 equals -4. 2x equals -4. Divide both sides by 2, and I get x equals -2. Again, I know that the y value is 0 in my ordered pair, so I have an ordered pair of -2, 0. -2 zeros right here. Now I'm going to find my y-intercept. A reminder, y-intercept is where x equals 0. We're going to substitute that in and solve for y. Substituting x equals 0, and I get 2 times 0 minus y equals -4. Notice that that 2 times 0 is 0, so I'm just left with -y equals -4. Again, I included this example because students so often forget that this is the opposite of y. This is the opposite of y. Don't forget that sign. I'm going to divide both sides by -1. And I get y equals 4. I know my x-coordinate of my ordered pair is going to be 0, so I get 0, 4. Plotting that point, 0, 4, and now I have 2 points. Notice my slope is up 4 over 2. So 4 over 2, I see that as a slope of 2. Could go, and I'm going to get another point just to help me draw your line. There you go. This is how to graph lines in standard form. Hopefully this helps.